This sode would not be possible without the support of our listeners, patrons, and sponsors. If you'd like to learn more about supporting the 3-Bit Gamer Show, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/3BG. And a huge thanks goes out to our boss-level patrons, Christopher and Patrick.
And we're back with the Blursties Part 2. Thank you so much for bearing with us through our week-long intermission. Hope you took the opportunity to get a refill on your drinks, popcorn, and movie pickles, because this one's going to be a doozy.
This is Hanzo. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show.
It's the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
I'm Jackson.
And this is the Blurst.
The blurst of the blurst,
The blurst
part
of the
2.
blurst.
The Blurstist.
Wait, real quick, how did I miss movie pickles?
I was going to say, I thought I wrote a pretty good gag, and you're just like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
I missed it when I read through it, and then when you said it, it got like a burst out laugh from me.
I think people who get pickles at movies are very entertaining to me. I just think that's a
I
fun.
forgot they did that.
Yeah, and they have the pickles you can
the
get.
big old fat ones.
Yeah,
at
and
the
so you
dollar
can either
movies.
you can either get them in like a weird plastic tray thing or a paper cup, or you can get the individually wrapped pickles. But I don't know,
Wrap
just
the pickles.
they're individually wrapped.
Yeah, like those ones they're
It's
sitting in a little bit of
like
juice.
shrink
so you
wrap?
can drink the bag juice
Yeah.
later.
Oh, cool. So it comes with a straw. Or you just have to suck on the
no.
plastic.
You suck on the
gotta
plastic.
suckle at the
so if
plastic.
you ever hear someone in a movie and the sound goes crunch, crunch, crunch,
You know what's happening.
You know that person's enjoying a pickle.
sucking
They're a
down
pickle
movie
person.
pickles.
Sucking down movie pickles.
Approach at your own risk.
Okay, kudos will be quick this week because we want to jump right back into the Blursties. I just have a quick gaming kudos. I know these are uncommon, but I recently started playing because my sabbatical began, my gaming sabbatical, and so I'm cranking through all the stuff I meant to, and I started playing Jedi Fallen Order the other night. I guess I didn't know about this game. I guess I'm an idiot because I thought I knew what this game was, and I was totally wrong. It's a Dark Souls game. I didn't know it was a Dark Souls game.
The Souls-like.
What? I thought that was very weird because I kept being like, okay, so it's kind of weird that my hack and slash, which in every Jedi game where you play a lightsaber, just mash
swing
the
out.
lightsaber as
Yeah.
many times as you want. I was like, well, that's not working. That's weird. And it's like, oh, you got a block and counter. I was like, oh, so it's like God of War kind of whatever. But then I realized, and then I had, this is, you know what did it for me is I had a, so you have these little meditation circles where you stop and they're your save points. Like in Souls, the Souls games, they're campfires.
Yep.
And I died. I am so babied in 2019 that when I fall off a cliff or die, I just expect to show up right there. Like, put me back where I was. I don't want to suffer any consequences for dying. I'm
You
not
just
used to
expect
this.
the little cloud guy from Mario Kart to come
Pull
push
you
you
right
out.
back up.
But no, I died and I went back. And it was like, I lost like 20 minutes of exploration, like hard platforming, some dumb bosses. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? I had to go do that again, and I had to go do it again. And I was like, so that's what I told Jenna. I was like, I think I'm playing the game wrong. So I literally stopped it. We went and got in the hot tub, and I just sat there and Googled the entire time. I was like, it was like gameplay tips for Jedi Fallen Order because I was like,
play Fallen Order.
I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing something wrong. And then it started to be like, oh no, this is a Souls-like game. It's punishing, deliberately difficult. Make sure to save as often as possible, and you can't just hack and slash your way through it. You have to counter. You have to watch for people's like when they're gonna hit and. Dude, I don't know if I could beat this game. It is so hard. It's not my
You can
style anymore.
Put down the difficulty settings. Down to Peterson mode.
I may have to put it on Peterson. But I kind of, with this game, I feel weird doing that because I feel like I want to play it the way they've designed it. Because if I go down easy mode, I'm just going to play it like Jet Force Unleashed. I'm just going to hack and slash through the whole thing. But if I play it on medium, I'll have to be forced to play it how it's intended.
Give in to your hatred.
Dude, I hate it.
Join
I hate
the dark side.
I hate when games are hard now. I don't want it to be hard.
Bunch of jerks making games that are hard, taking
I
more
never-
than 20 minutes to beat.
I never played a Souls game, so I didn't. And that's my thing is I was like, if I was like 21 in college, back when I used to play games like for 8 hours at a time, this would be my game.
It'd be fine.
Because going through those checkpoints, and back then it was like I'd lose an hour and a half of gameplay because I'd die and be like, that's fine, I'll go do it again. Now I lose an hour and a half. I'm like, I could have been playing FTL this whole time. An hour and a half of FTL, that's like half a run.
Yeah.
What am I doing? So anyway, kudos to Jedi Fallen Order for breaking the mold of what I expected it to be. I thought it was just going to be another lightsaber hacky slashy, but no, it's a distinct game, and they made it very distinct in Star Wars. And I'm stoked on them. So way to go, guys! Keep up the good work, and I hope we see a lot more single player Star Wars because this has been really fun.
Nice.
All right, I just will play this.
This is 1,000 monkeys working at 1,000 typewriters. Soon, they'll have written the greatest novel known to man. Let's see. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. You stupid monkey. You shut up.
So we've based this entire segment on that clip. This
The
entire
name
segment,
of the segment.
the entire exactly. Because this was something that Spencer started saying. Blurst.
He would always call things the blurs.
I don't think I ever heard him say the worst or say the word worst.
No.
Since I've known him.
He deleted it from his
His brain, he
vocabulary.
replaced it with
I lived
blurst.
with Jonathan while this was going on and watched the evolution. Like, you don't say worst anymore. You only say blurst.
Yeah, you get in
blurst.
trouble. You get in trouble if you say the worst. So, yes, our Blursties, which is our end-of-year awards show for the worst of the year. The absolute blurst of the year.
It feels good.
It feels good. So
It does feel good.
we last week we had Christian Spicer on and we talked, and if you guys haven't heard that, listen to that one yet, go listen to it because it's a stellar episode. We talked worst name, biggest disappointment, most overrated, least favorite character, and worst sequel. So this week we have worst studio, worst decision, worst launch, worst writing, and worst gamer rage.
Our favorite.
The best one. I know, we always save it for last because it's so juicy.
There's just so much.
So, let's start with worst studio. And does anyone want to start on this one?
I will start because mine is this is a story from, I believe, June that I don't think everyone remembers, but you will once I start talking about it. So my nomination is for Treyarch Studios. Now, if you don't know Treyarch, they're the guys who made Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
They make the lesser Call of Duty games.
Yeah, the every other year.
The every other year guys. That's these guys.
And here's the
They're
thing.
the NBA Live guys.
Oh, man.
Take it easy.
Hey.
That is pretty rude.
So Treyarch, if you don't remember, they had a big Kotaku article by Jason Schreier.
Sheer. Ooh.
I feel like you could say that
Big
name.
J.
I think I would prefer my name was Sheer because it'd be easier to spell.
Yeah.
I have to Google him every time I try to write his name down because
Schreier.
I cannot spell it right.
Anyway, so he's Kotaku's like lead guy. He breaks all these crazy stories. I will say his stories are always very long,
Yeah,
and I rarely make it to the end of them.
they're the Dark Souls of
Dark
long form
Souls.
journalism.
He's a Souls-like writer.
He's a Souls like.
So he broke this story about Call of Duty and some of this at Treyarch and some of the stuff going on. So one of the things, if you don't remember, was the separation of employees. Mm-hmm. So they have a bunch of QA testers who are subhuman employees,
Garbage.
second tier human
Dumpster folk.
They and this
Swamp
isn't a
dwellers.
joke. They had to park in a
Filthmongers.
different parking lot that was further away.
Scum bastards.
And?
Well,
And?
because technically they are
That's where the scum bastards park. What are you talking about?
the scum bastard lot. What do you?
Remember,
Where
we're
else
parked
would they
in the
park?
scum bastard
It's
section.
called the scum bastard.
Everybody,
lot.
don't forget.
We didn't name it that.
That's just where you
Hey.
scum bastards park.
Hey,
no
it was like that when we got here.
Stupid broken cars. Your old Honda Civic or whatever they're driving.
I bet your cars still run on gas.
Geo Metro, dudes.
So yeah, they have a different parking lot. These employees, quote unquote, are contractors. They have a different colored badge. Their Treyarch announced they were giving their CEO like a $15 million bonus.
Oh, yeah.
These guys were
came
eligible.
up with the Scumbastard plan.
Yeah, he put them in the Scumbastard lot. This guy
Saved him $1 million.
the good employees were the first floor employees were real happy about this.
They're leasing their own lot for like some other purpose.
You have to pay for parking at your job. They worked on a separate floor. They worked on the second floor. When there were company parties, like when the game was getting ready to launch, and they had like a ton of pre-sales. They threw a pizza and beer party for the employees.
Dare touch that.
They let the QA employees come down for 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes. Start the timer
Drink
now.
as much as you possibly can.
No beer. They told them no beer because they had to go back to work.
Yeah, people don't actually know this, but biologically, Scumbastards can only eat for 20 minutes at a time.
That's all they get.
Yep.
And
That's just how they work.
don't give them beer, or it
Never.
all goes
Never.
downhill.
No, they can only drink sewer water.
Drink from the toilet.
You know when it
the
rains
bathroom sink.
and the water's dripping off like the lip of a dumpster?
Oh.
They just have to just
Pigeon poop
suck on
water.
that like a hamster. Dude, how are these guys getting a Blurstie? It seems like they're really putting
Sounds
these
like they
subhumans
stick to
in
their
their
guns.
place. God.
So they got these second tier employees that were the QA testers. They were making like $13 an hour, having them work before game release, having them work like 70-hour weeks, and they'd make them come in on Sundays all the time. Saturdays were a given, but Sunday was like their day off, and they would still make them come in.
Scum day.
Yeah, but the problem was they would roll out like 2 updates a week. And then these guys go, if you don't know, QA testers in video games have to like test the limits of the game. They have to do all sorts of stuff.
You're not playing the game. Like you are dedicated to a level or maybe a very small part of that level or even like between 2 cutscenes or something, and you just play it over and over and over again. You see, what happens if I just walk into this wall during the entirety of this cutscene? Will anything happen?
What if I mash the A button during this whole thing?
What if I mash the X button and you just go through and do that, you notate, you dictate it? This is not fun work. This isn't, I'm playing video games for work. This isn't, I got some pizza, now I'm going back to play video games. This is ruining. If anything, it ruins video games for the people playing them.
Yep. Yeah, and they actually don't end up liking their jobs. There's a lot of attrition because of this. Anyways, Treyarch just treating these people like sub-tier humans because they are their QA department.
See, the because is the sickest part, and why I think this absolutely is a front runner for the Blurstie here is because the reason they do this is because there are a lot of people that don't have code experience, they don't have design or art backgrounds, but they really want to work in games. They're passionate about games. They love them. They don't know what to do. So what do? The only entry-level position that you can really get into in the game industry, if you're lucky, you can get in via PR, but you have to be really, really lucky and have a lot of experience in media. Otherwise, you're going in through QA. And that's how a lot of people have come up through the gaming industry. They start in QA, and then they start noticing things, and then they start making suggestions up the line, and they're like, hey, that guy has been testing for us for 2 years. He's made some really stellar suggestions. Let's see what we can do with him. And so they're taking advantage of people who are very desperate to be in an industry. This is like how Hollywood preys on young actors because they're very desperate to be there, and they're like, cool, yeah, let's just turn all these people into victims. Like this is a very deliberate thing, attacking a vulnerable group of people who just are very passionate and want to work in a specific industry, and you're taking advantage of that to line your pockets. This is not a financial decision, as Peterson laid out. They still have millions of dollars to cut checks, bonus checks and stuff, but the QAs, the guys that are ensuring the game goes out without bugs, who are in no way should be separated from the development, should be not considered sub-employees or contractors because of how vital their job is, but that doesn't matter. It's not about the vitality or the importance of their job. It's we have found a group of people we can take advantage of, and by God, are we going to do it.
So, and my last bit about this is this sentence in this article that kills me.
I was like, what are you
Every
cracking
time
up
I've
about
read
over
it.
there? I saw you giggling.
When lunch is catered, testers are told that the food downstairs is for the development team, not for them. Sometimes they're allowed to scrounge for leftovers an hour later once the non-testing staff have gotten to eat.
And
so
you
they
know,
really are like
Yes.
treated like sub-tier humans. Like,
Yep.
oh, you can go eat their scraps,
but you
when
have to
you're
clean
done.
up. You have to clean up the table and mop afterwards. Imagine
I
the
can't, dude. It's so
the
ridiculous.
only time that so there's rarely food left over, and if there is, you have to wait an hour. Imagine the only food. I'm thinking the only food that's left over is the worst food. Like
Just crust.
yeah, no. When they order
the pizza crust. This
cheese
one has
that
a
got
little
peeled
cheese on
off
it.
of a
Yeah.
This one has a little sauce.
yeah, like the only
The piece
stuff
of pizza
left.
that got the cheese pulled off with another piece, so it's just a flap of bread.
Yes.
Or they're eating the cheese left on the box, like scraping that off and putting it on the crust.
Oh, I was thinking
It's like
like
pizza.
when the office manager decides to go on a weird diet, and you're like, oh, you ordered vegan? There's only vegan options? That's when they're like, okay, yeah, you can go eat a fake vegan cheeseburger. It's an hour old, though.
Thank
It's
you.
been dying on that table, so enjoy, I guess.
So Treyarch, this one's for you.
Yeah. Let's do a listener one next. We have one from our listener, Paul.
Hey, 3VGs, it's Paul, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. To the Win. I'd like to make a Blurstie nomination with dishonorable mentions. First up is Blizzard. You wonderful idiots. How can you be so amazing and yet so vile in 1 year? Layoffs and then reposting the same job 5 months later? Good job. No. To their involvement in Hong Kong democracy. Also, the Q&A for all their games this year was absolute crap and riddled with bugs. Dishonorable mentions, Bethesda, Fallout 76, and the plagiarism involved in that area. BioWare. What the hell is Anthem? Anyway, keep up the good subpar work. Just kidding. Except for Peterson. That guy. What? Oh, and kudos to Grinding Gear Games. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show. Bye.
Thanks, Paul. So Paul's nomination was Activision Blizzard, who had a doozy of a year.
It was rough.
I like that Paul had to throw shade at a couple others. He's like, wait,
Yeah, no, everyone
I've got a platform to throw some shade, and he's just like tossing it out. Shotgun approach to the shade.
I don't blame you, man. It was a bad year for developers. Like AAA studios, this is what I've been saying this all year long. It was not a great year for AAAs, and I think it's a year where they're going to either need to realize they need to change, and then the ones that don't realize that are going to be gone. They're just going to eventually they're going to go the Zynga way, which is you find your bread and butter and you just huddle up, and that's all you ever do. You cut your staff down to its bare bones, and you're just making CSI Miami games for Facebook. That's your jam now. That's what you do. Do you guys have anything you want to add to the Activision Blizzard stuff? Paul mentioned a few of the things, like the Hong Kong controversy.
Free Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I'm
you're out.
sure-
You're cut. You're off
Are
the
you kidding me?
podcast. Get out of here.
Bye.
You can't do that here.
Also, you owe us money now.
China owns 12% of this podcast. We don't know why. Literally don't know who owns the other 80.
We weren't selling
How do you
it.
own this podcast? Also,
would
why?
you? Yeah, right?
Who did they pay for this?
I don't know. It wasn't us. They just own 12%.
freaking China.
They say they own 12%.
How do they do it?
I don't know. It's amazing. And then the other one, obviously, is that they announce a record quarter and give
In the next breath.
then lay off 800 people, and then a month later they give their CFO. Oh no, the CFO was before this. So record profits. CFO
Record
$18
profits.
million signing bonus on top of his whatever, and that 800 of y'all need to find new work.
That's crazy. That is crazy. You don't often see a company announcing record-breaking years and then immediately laying people off.
Only in movies where evil corporations are taking over the world.
Yeah,
you see
Evil
that.
Corp. This is like an Evil Corp thing.
This is like a plot
This is a
line,
goddamn
a
cartoon.
subplot to a.
Yeah, like a shitty, poorly written cartoon. See,
crazy.
I just feel like, I don't know, you guys, and I think Trent would probably be the person to ask on this, but I feel like their BlizzCon, which was, I think we said, one of the best BlizzCons in recent memory, it didn't register. I don't think it left like more than a blip on the radar. People were basically like really went into it wanting them to fail, wanting them to screw up, and they did a really stellar job, and everyone's like, still fucking hate you. So? Fuck you anyway.
Well, and here's the thing: they made a bunch of announcements that were like really exciting and cool, and then
Coming
immediately
maybe
told
later.
us that coming TBD.
Yep.
Like not
might
in the
get it.
next year, not in the next 2 years.
So if they were doing this to buy some goodwill, it's like
It worked a tiny bit.
Yeah, very.
It's like
it
a
was
half-assed attempt.
And I don't think it's changed people's opinion at all on the company. I think people are still like, you guys are scummy and awful, and you've really finally pulled off the veil. And guess what? Underneath the veil, it was Activision all along. There was no Blizzard under there. It's like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, and they
Let's
pulled
see
it
who
off.
it really is.
Yeah, so it was a bad year. Jackson, how about you? Who's your worst studio of 2019?
Thank you. I'm going to go with 2K.
Oh, yes.
2K Sports specifically.
Low-hanging fruit.
Because like you could say whatever I say this year, just record it, copy, paste next year's Blursties. That's the 2K
model.
Let me start.
It's literally their model.
Let me start with my favorite game of all time was NBA 2K, that series.
You used to play that all the time.
Starting in like 2009, 2010. I grinded so hard, and I was really good at
Jackson
that
was
game.
really
good at that game.
When he played multiplayer, people would just
how
rage quit all the time.
Do you feel about slot machines, Jackson? Are you like
Real
a
ones?
big gambling fan?
I'm a big gambling fan
Unrelated
of real
to a
gambling.
basketball video
Oh yeah,
game.
no, I don't know why this came to
Just
mind.
a total
just
non sequitur.
We'll come back to that. So, NBA 2K has basically been the same game for 4 years. The last one I bought, I think, was 2K17, maybe
Okay.
2K. I think 2K18, but I didn't play it. I started playing it and realized this is the same damn game.
Oh, I played this before.
Right.
And there's just more glitches and more bugs, and it's taking longer to load. So, things that people did not like about NBA 2K: microtransactions and gambling. Can we talk about the gambling simulator a little bit?
Much gambling.
Oh my
Peterson,
God.
tell us how you feel about it.
I am into it, you guys. I don't know
This is the
why
first
this.
NBA 2K game you ever bought.
I don't even like basketball games.
Never played the
and
basketball part of it.
Yeah, I am unlocking so many characters.
Yes, he's unlocking characters in the NBA. Whoa.
Way to go.
Despite teaching children who are playing this game how to gamble and to potentially steal their parents' credit cards.
How else do you gamble?
Yeah.
Right. They got
wanna
review
lose my
bombed,
money.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's the third year in a row that negative scores have outweighed positive scores for NBA 2K.
and they've learned nothing.
And they can't
clearly don't care.
and they can't stop it. Like Steam tried to set up things to like make it so that people couldn't review bomb, and they couldn't figure it out because people were so upset.
They got around the anti-review
Yeah,
bomb system
and-
that Steam put up, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, and they definitely got around it. My favorite thing, and we talked about this during launch, but my favorite thing about this game was watching the Steam reviews real time. Like we'd say, oh, there's 150 reviews and they're all negative.
Yeah.
Except for like a couple that were like, I don't know, kind of like poker. And so
This is the best gambling sim I've ever played.
there was a comment that was just like that, and then watching that, I was texting JD. He's like, "You got to look at this."
Yeah.
2 days later, 1,500 reviews, still mostly negative. A few days later, 8,000 reviews, still mostly negative. It was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so outside of microtransactions and gambling, obviously there's a bunch of bugs, and that's been pretty consistent the last like 3 or 4 years with 2K.
Well, it's gonna be
that
the
I've
same
noticed.
bugs in the previous
it's the
game.
Same bugs. They haven't done anything.
It's the same
So
exact
things
fucking
like
code.
slow loading. That's one thing. That's what got me off of 2K18 was how long it took to load. I was like, this is stupid. I booted up my Xbox 360 with NBA 2K10 faster than this. This is stupid.
Can I just pause for 1 second and tell just a theory on why that may be, and it's something that happens in development is, especially when you have something that's that old and they've never taken the code base and like refreshed it and started from scratch. So you have code built on top of crappy code, built on top of buggy code. And it's not just loading the game. It's loading 4 years worth of games and all the extra code they've added for all those things, and it has to load all that stuff. And it's not doing it in an efficient manner because you can't build it efficiently if you're not starting from scratch. That's generally the best way to do it in code. And so you're just spaghetti coding on top of each other. And it literally they can't reduce the load times. It's got too much to load because it's got 4 years worth of the same game.
It's
It's
2K17, and then in the
It's just,
code
like,
there's just like a
crossed off.
cross off. 2K18,
Load all
cross
that,
off.
load all the other one.
2K19.
so and then besides
So good.
slow loading times, the progression system. So like when you're grinding to get your player better, so there's reputation scores and then like skills that you can develop. People weren't seeing how far they were progressing. It wasn't documenting it. So like you'd have a bar that was your
Like your XP
your fame,
bar?
your reputation.
Yeah.
But it would just be blank. And so there was a bunch of people on Twitter screenshotting it like, I've been playing this game for 12 hours and I don't know if I'm doing anything yet.
Oh my god!
Because it wasn't telling them what they were earning or
You
doing.
have no idea what your progress is.
It's like the progress bar in like World of Warcraft once you get up to like 100 and it barely moves when you start killing things. It's like that. It's like it's the most expensive.
Maybe it is moving. You just aren't playing enough.
How big is your screen?
Yeah. And then other than that, like freezing, especially on online games, that's the worst. And just glitching out. Same problems that they've always had. And this was their response immediately after 2K20 came out for the NBA. As you can imagine, due to the hashtag NBA 2K20 launch, we're receiving more tickets than usual. We're doing everything we can to get your cases as quickly as possible. Thanks!
Why would you hashtag that? I
This
do
was
not want that
when-
popping up in a search.
Yeah, don't.
This was when the, I think it was Fix 2K20 was the trending hashtag or something like that. That was their response.
That's a hashtag that's trending.
And you're like, it can't get worse than that, right? It can't.
And then
Does it?
not only did 2K come out with NBA 2K20, they also, which we've talked about, WWE 2K.
They hit
Same
me right
studio,
in my childhood.
Dude.
I remember playing those games, the WWE games at your house.
When it was
on
called WWF.
N64. It was at WWF. A lot of pandas, a lot more pandas in that one. Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, that was our childhood growing up. Was
Yeah,
playing
and they were
wrestling
really
games.
fun. Like looking back for Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2 games, they were really in depth. There was endless storylines that you could take, and 2K was like, we don't want to do that anymore. So
that stuff's lame.
I think the last one
We
I
can't
played
sell
was
that.
probably the last like
Where did you put the
wrestling game I played
microtransactions?
was 2005 or so when it was SmackDown
When it was
versus
cool.
Raw on
Yeah.
PlayStation 2, and since then, nothing really. But let's talk about the disaster that was WWE 2K20 for a second.
yes.
So, in my reading and checking Reddit and Twitter and stuff, wrestling is actually pretty good right now. They've got really good performers. They've got huge athletes. They've got some of the old guys. They've got people coming from other sports. Like, it's a big deal.
Dope.
It's still going really well.
Yeah.
So people definitely have favorite wrestlers. And I forget her name, Becky something. She's one of the most famous.
She's the mom wrestler.
She's like a...
Can I speak to a
Yeah,
manager?
yeah, just go ahead and look up her name for me. But she's
Becky
like
Lynch.
Becky Lynch, yes. So she's like one of the top female wrestlers. And one common glitch that everybody got was she did not have a face.
Which is a shame because she's
You don't
very
need a
pretty.
face.
She's a very good-looking human, but she
Just
didn't have
wipe
a
it out.
face.
Just get that face out of there.
Positives about the game that people said.
Because it was some guys developing it.
Right.
They
didn't care.
Did not
Yeah.
pay, they did not focus on the face
Nope.
side of it.
They start at the boobs, then they go down, and then they go back up. And
Well,
the face is
speaking
the last
of-
we
thing.
don't have time.
After the feet. Have we done the feet yet?
Speaking of, the only positive I could find was the create a player mode, create a wrestler mode. They said it's super in depth. You can get really detailed. I'm sure you can adjust chest
face?
size.
Make
Yes.
your own Becky Lynch.
They launched the game with 0 wrestlers and just encourage you to make your own.
You like Becky Lynch? Here's the body.
Right.
You can do her
WWE
face.
Sims. WWE Tycoon.
And so she doesn't have a face. And then going along with that, there's a lot of inconsistencies between when the wrestlers are entering versus when they're fighting, right? So Andre the Giant, his music plays, and the guy coming out looks exactly like Andre the Giant. Gameplay, it looks like something out of 1994.
Yeah, it looks
They
like
look
the
really
N64 games we used to
Oh
play.
my God.
Like, it's really bad.
Incredible.
Um,
So you're saying
And then-
2K's putting a lot of money into
and then
this.
there's no innovation.
You're telling me this doesn't look like Becky Lynch?
Like 3/4 of her face is hair.
And then just like teeth?
Or
Just fucking...
And then, like, the commentary
Nightmare
in
Becky.
wrestling games has always been bad, no big deal.
Yeah.
But the gameplay used to be really on point, like the combinations you could do for different moves. But now it's like the targeting system is so off. You're just like swinging punches wherever.
It's like
in
when
the middle
you used
of
to
a
play
match.
Wii boxing.
Yeah.
In the middle of a match, you'll be like walking towards someone, and then all of a sudden your wrestler is on their knees, and then they're just laying down. And it's like there's some great videos of both NBA 2K20 and WWE 2K20 that you should just go watch to see how bad they are.
Because watching the videos, watching streamers play WWE, one thing I noticed in every single video is just dudes just in hysterics. Like this, it's
Laughing.
beyond the pale because the glitches are so funny and frequent and just like pervasive that you can't do anything but just laugh as, like Jackson said, your characters just dance around on their knees or fall down and die.
So the reaction to both these games, there was people on both sides like, I'm going to go burn down GameStop and like run in and demand my money back and then some. And then there's other people who did exactly that. They're like, I'm just going to put all of this online because this is the funniest $60
great
I've
content.
ever spent.
Yeah, it's broken. So broken.
So 2K, you're the worst.
Thanks.
Last year, next year, this year.
Yeah,
it's
I
all
can't
the
wait
same.
to just replay that exact
That's
same
gonna
clip
be-
It's gonna
next
be like,
year.
this is
Great.
for 2K21.
Oh, turns out you don't need to do that because they've stopped doing that too. Because you saw
yeah.
in 2K20 they didn't update the game file name itself from 2K19
about
to 2K20. So you don't even need to update.
That's one of my all-time favorite things.
It
by
is
the way.
so obvious
It's
that
just
they're
bad.
literally copy pasting the game. Like people are like, oh, they say that as a, but they're copy.
You're paying for a slower game with new rosters. You're just paying for a roster update.
Yeah.
You can do that by
You
yourself.
just do those names, yeah. Okay, so my worst studio, my Blur studio, as it has been, I think, 3 years running, is Riot Games.
This is our. This is
Easy.
just our.
This is just low hanging fruit.
Yep.
I
It's
mean,
right there.
This
The
is like
current
getting a fart in the
nomination.
face.
Yeah, I mean, this is we are
It's
we are
always
in
there.
a post fart world year. The fart in the face was last year, if you guys remember. So now we're just dealing with new self-imposed problems that Riot has created for themselves. So they get through the fart stuff and they just can't
But that smell is
leave it
lingering.
behind them. Yeah, they go back for the crop dust.
They didn't cut the tail.
They did the yeah, exactly. They did the very curious covered wagon when they're like, this is a bad idea, but I want to know what's down there. So two of the things that that were really bad that ensured that they got this Blurstie nomination was obviously their anti-arbitration lawsuit.
What a terrible move.
Yeah, especially coming on the tail of all this.
Yes.
When employees are like, well, hey, this would be a little bit different and we'd be able to handle this and feel a little safer as employees if we knew that we weren't going to be forced into mediation ostensibly with the person who was the problem maker in the beginning.
Right.
And then Riot's like, well, no, you can just burn in hell because we're never going to do that. And then they've introduced a change where you can, as part of your contract, when you start there, you can sign an anti-arbitration clause in your contract. I don't think they advertise it. I think they hope you don't notice it, and I'm pretty sure the current employees don't have that option because they already signed a contract. If it seems like I'm never satisfied with anything Riot does, and they've responded to these things, it's because it feels like every response they have is reactive, which is fine. That's usually how you respond to problems that you didn't realize. But they do nothing, and they give you zero faith that they're doing anything to prepare to set themselves up for success later, to not have these issues later. They're reacting, and they're doing it in the most minimalistic way because at the end of the day, the two douchebag bros that run the company make every single call that goes through that company. And you can see in the letter they wrote. The other thing I want to talk about is this tiny settlement that they made out for all the women that worked at Riot Games. It was a teeny tiny. It was a $10 million settlement. Like I said, the vast majority, I'm sure, went to lawyers who were representing the women who were just doing it to make a buck. Riot paid the absolute minimum that they could and then released a statement that was basically like, look what you bitches made us do. Fuck you. It's over. It was so in your face.
Their statement was horrifying.
Peterson's an HR guy, and even he was like, dude, it was not like a thing. They were like covering their ass, and it was very clear. You could see a lawyer or a copywriter or someone had written the letter, and then you saw the douchebags that just came in, and they're like, no, we're not taking responsibility for anything.
We did nothing wrong.
We did nothing wrong. Brandon Beck and Mark Merrill have never made a mistake in their lives, including hiring Scott Gelb because he's the most world-class farter out there, bro.
Have you smelled that? Have you smelled those Gelb farts?
Yeah, Gelb fart. Oh yeah, do it, Gelb. Fart it up. So these are the fucking guys that are writing their statements that are going out.
Look, if you are caught in some sort of, you'll say like a controversy like this, you are a company, you always come back extremely apologetic. You don't take the defensive, right? Even if you have, like the arbitration thing was legal. They were legally allowed to do that. However, it's the optics of it all, right? How do you look when you do that to the public eye, which is a huge deal? And they just went the wrong way over and over and over all year. The statement was so awful, so horrifying. God, it's miserable. Riot. Every time I think I want to like something that you're doing, you're making it real hard. Making it real hard to like you guys.
Yeah, they're just the worst. They don't do anything right, and their responses to the problems they make for themselves always seem to make things worse. So, as always, Riot Games with another Blurstie. Okay, so next up we have worst decision, and I'm ranting, so I'm just going to keep this rolling.
Keep it rolling. Rolling.
My worst decision goes to Google Stadia. Just the idea of Stadia itself.
This is
everything
for worst decision. Yeah.
The worst decision Google could have made was rolling out Stadia, how it was, how they planned it.
When they did it, the announcements of it all.
Yeah, let's just go through some of the things that I think made this the worst decision, and then we'll just move on. I think one of my favorite quotes is the one that came from Phil Spencer, who was recruited from Microsoft by Google, thinking, oh, well, I love this idea that you can just bring one guy in, just one executive in, and he is just going to be this font of unlimited information and will be able to create and craft this thing just from whole cloth. It is such arrogance and such like in your face. I don't know, this idea of meritocracy just completely run amok, that if you are the executive of a company, you know every way to run that company from the absolute bottom. You could mop the floors, you could write the code, you can do everything. So let's just hire this guy and he'll just be able to make this what we want it to be. Obviously not, because one of the first things he says is that we are confident the IPs will adjust to accommodate.
Oof.
This guy literally cut his teeth. He started his whole announcement on Stadia off by saying, oh, we know we're trying to stream 4K content, and we know that it chugs through 20 gigs an hour, and we know that most of America doesn't have high-speed internet because we tried to give you guys high-speed internet and everyone refused it. So Google has a unique position in having tried to install fiber across America, that they have firsthand experience knowing how piss poor our internet infrastructure is in this country, and yet they roll this out and think it's going to work because Phil Spencer told them it was. So there's that. I love that it overheats the device, the Chromecast Ultra, that it's meant to work on. That's pretty good stuff. And it's a game service where you never own the games, and you'll lose them all if Google ever shuts this down. Google has an entire website dedicated, not Google, but there is an entire website dedicated to the projects killed by Google, 156 services, 18 apps, and 16 hardware products.
Wow.
Do you trust these guys to keep your library of games up and running and accessible? Because I fucking don't, and I don't think anyone else will. I like that I mentioned it before, but 4K streaming, it's 20 gigs an hour. So if you're trying to do this on your phone, you're screwed. You're out of luck. You go through your entire month of a data plan in an hour?
Yep.
Because my data plan, I think I have 12 gigs or something. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have 20. I definitely don't have 20 in an hour.
Yeah. So I think the decision part of this that's so bad is the... first of all, the launch announcement.
Hold on one quick second. I'm so sorry. It's Phil Harrison. I kept saying Phil Spencer.
Who's Phil Spencer?
He is an Xbox person, I think.
Okay. He's just another Phil.
Yeah, Phil Spencer is the head of Xbox. I mixed him up with Phil Harrison.
So sorry, Spencer.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Phil.
I'm so sorry. I knew I was wrong. I'm so sorry.
So I think the worst decision part of this
he came from Microsoft.
The announcement of it. They came out and promised the world right out the gate. They didn't announce this as like a test or a beta. They said this product is launching. It's going to be ready to go. You're going to get 4K, which, by the way, 4K is a big deal in gaming. But when you watch, there's a difference when you're watching Netflix shows and when you have the Blu-ray disc. There's a difference in quality.
Yep, always.
And we're okay with that because of the ease of access of it, right? I think them trying to say 4K, like the best stats you can possibly get on these games, trying to promise that is ludicrous because of what you're saying. The data caps, which is a crazy thing on its own.
Though. That's what's so asinine is if they had focused on getting a library together, which they very well could have. Google Money could have gone through the past 40 years catalog of video games and found hundreds of titles and thrown them up as a Switch type service. So you say, yes, we're working on 4K. Here's 10 games that come at launch that are all in 4K, like they're past games. But also, here's a massive library, just like Microsoft offers, just like EA offers, just like Nintendo offers. Here's a massive library of other games that don't run on 4K, that people would just be just as happy to play Streets of Rage 2 on their Stadia, and they'd be stoked for that. But they don't have anything because, like you said, they hyper-focused on 4K HD gaming, and
which, by the way, no one's getting yet.
Yeah!
Because, and we can talk about this in the next segment.
This is not going to be the last time we mention Stadia.
Stadia just...
See you next year.
Yeah, see you guys next year. Yeah, right. No, they're going to kill them. All
right.
Oh,
it'll be... The worst decision will be Stadia has been canceled.
Yep. They can't win because keeping it up is a bad decision and taking it down is an equally bad decision.
Oh, man.
All right, who's got another one?
I'll go next. It's our boy, Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford. Who do we like more, Randy Pitchford or Scott Gelb? Do we want to put them in a room together, maybe at a medieval times, and just see what happens?
It would be wild.
Just make sure they both have Twitter.
Put Jason Schreier in there as well, just so we can write about it.
He's just sitting behind him with a pencil.
Oh, my God. Oh, what? I can't keep up.
I can't type fast enough. These guys are lunatics.
Oh, man. I'm still on the sexism conversation they just had.
Oh, my God. What did you just call her?
I can't keep up. They've moved on. Okay, so Randy Pitchford, he is the CEO of Gearbox, who makes the Borderlands games. Gearbox, by the way,
it's a dope
this
studio.
is not for them because this studio is actually like a good studio. We get very little negative news from them. All the negativity comes from their stupid CEO, Randy Pitchford. The guy is the worst.
Who steals money from them.
I'll just say I love listening to you guys talk about this guy.
I can't.
I Google him all the time now.
Pitchford. I'm in a bad mood. What's a good Pitchford story?
I do that with
This will cheer
certain
me
people.
up.
There are people in my life I'm like, is that person still failing? Okay, cool. Phew. Thank God.
First of all, Pitchford had in this article that I was reading this article when I was prepping for this, and it said Randy Pitchford, who has been had numerous controversies in 2019 alone.
The first year in 7 years that he's releasing a Borderlands game, and he just goes ballistic. He's like, I have a new Borderlands game out. I'm gonna go nuts.
Mind you, this article was written in like August, and he was on controversy number 3. So let me bring up a few of them. First of all, the voice actor for Claptrap. Do you remember this?
Yes.
So Claptrap in the
5 controversies.
Controversy number 1.
That's shocking.
That's a lot. That is Trump level controversy.
It's Trump level controversy, and it's also very Trumpian that he's going nowhere. He's like, yeah, I'm still running the company.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
He
how
does
are you
not
still
care.
running the company?
He is actually very defensive about a lot of it, which is hilarious to me.
Oh, he hits Twitter, which is classic.
Absolutely.
He hits.
So the voice actor for Claptrap is a character in the Borderlands series.
Sounds sexual.
Who, is not a disease, not an STD. The Claptrap.
Fuck.
Maybe it's named after him.
Yeah.
Randy Pitchford is
sounds like a nickname
the
you would give to
Claptrap.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So,
there you go.
Claptrap is a robot character that's in the games. Funny. It's voiced by this guy. I can't remember the guy's name, but They wanted to initially bring Claptrap back. The voice actor who doesn't work for Gearbox anymore, he did before, and so he just did this, because it was a fun thing. Well, now he doesn't work at Gearbox, and they wanted him to do it again for free. And he was like, well, no. I mean, this company makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was like, no, I'll come in, pay me for it. And he wasn't even asking like a ton of money. He
It's
wasn't
a couple
like,
$100.
pay me $20 million and I'll do it. Nothing like that. And they said no. And not only that, they like laughed him out of it and called him an idiot. And like Randy Pitchford went online to slander this guy.
Well, the best part is because people asked him and he's like, oh, no, it just didn't work out. He did not throw... Even though they were shitty to him, he did not throw Gearbox under the bus. He was really
Being
professional.
so he could get another job.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, it just didn't work out. We tried to do it, and it didn't work.
Nope. And then Randy was slandered him online. And then this guy comes out and just like, he just comes back swinging. He's like,
you asked for it.
Yeah, he's the one who outed Pitchford's next because of this.
Pitchford's creating his
next
own
controversy
controversies.
Was that Randy Pitchford, and this came out in 2019, which is why I'm talking about it.
That he was stealing from all his employees,
He
right?
took a $12 million secret bonus.
That was intended for the employees after
For
they
secret
shipped
stuff.
Secret, probably porn related.
It usually is.
From the Claptrap,
You know how
for
much
sure.
porn you could buy with $12 million?
Like 7 videos because Randy Pitchford's an idiot. He's
still
like, how much is
downloading
this?
from LimeWire.
1.7 mil. All right, sounds interesting. He doesn't know what it is.
This must be
You
good.
just won $12 million. What are you going to do? I'm going to buy so much fucking porn.
$12 million worth of porn. Oh my
I'm
god!
going to get some of that rich people porn.
So he anyway, so yeah, then he was outed because by this Claptrap voice actor because he took a $12 million secret bonus for himself. And then for some reason when they're talking about Borderlands 3, he's doing like the PR, the press conference, right? And he straight up lies about the microtransactions. He's like, no microtransactions in the game.
He was
said-
not asked this question. This was not a response
he
to a
said this.
question. He just said it
You
out
know
of
what
nowhere.
it reminds me of
unprompted.
is when Michael Scott is sitting in front of the board, Dunder Mifflin,
Oh my god!
and makes all those promises.
We're going entirely carbon neutral.
30 days, 30 steps.
30
All right.
step.
All right,
step a
day
day.
30. Day 30, we're recovered. What about day 29?
Day 30. We're all back. All right,
is it.
day 29.
Let's go.
Thanks, Randy.
Borderlands famously has a ton of microtransactions, right? But the
They're
thing
mostly
is,
cosmetic. They're not a big deal.
they're cosmetic. They're always on sale. They're very cheap,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're not talking like extremely expensive cosmetics or extremely expensive microtransactions. There's just a lot of them, and they're small
Mm-hmm.
and they're cheap, right? So if you want it, you can buy a skin for 99 cents or something, right? And no one has complained about that in Borderlands because you get a lot of stuff for free too. This is not a complaint, right? He comes out and says no microtransactions. Immediately, that's outed as absolutely untrue.
Right.
There are so many
See a
microtransactions.
microtransaction right there.
Game Informer wrote an article basically 30 minutes later after his announcement that said this, to that effect. And
Yeah.
It's like, this is wrong because here's demonstrably why it's wrong.
He fires back.
Immediately on Twitter.
You're not. Does he have a PR manager?
Does he need one? Like, I don't
Yeah,
think this is a concern of his.
Randy Pitchford's PR manager is called Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford.
And he's
Randy
great.
Pitchford is never wrong.
Yeah, he's great at his job because he's great at any job he chooses to do.
He fires back, gets super defensive again, like slanderous
Mm-hmm.
and just like rude. This guy is the worst. And
He
like,
asked Game Informer why they were screwing him like this.
why are you screwing me like this?
Why would you let me lie, you fucks? How dare you? I'm Randy Pitchford.
Do you not know who I am?
I'll remind you.
Do you know
I'm
who my dad
Randy
is? Randy Pitchford is my.
I'm my own father.
Randy Pitchford is immortal.
Okay.
So my nom is just Randy Pitchford.
just the boy Randy.
because there
Just
isn't one decision that
every
I can
decision
nominate.
that Randy Pitchford made.
2019
in
Randy.
Jackson, what is your worst decision for 2019?
I need to give a shout out to my boy, Sean Shaputis.
Wait,
Sean
Sean
Shaputis!
I've heard that name before.
Sean Shaputis who reportedly also stole a FedEx truck in July, by the way.
Smart.
In September, he was charged with 1 count of burglary and 1 count of trafficking stolen property because he decided to break into, or he had access to Valve Studios.
Like a janitor, right? Some shit.
Yeah, and because he knew where there was an inactive stairwell door. He knew exactly how to get in. And Sean, the big pooter, Sean Chaputer, he decided that what he could do and what was reasonable for him was to steal $42,000 in total, $42,000 total in merchandise.
Just shit.
And stuff.
Just from people's
He
desks,
just started
right?
stealing stuff.
So here's stuff off your cube.
Here's some of the stuff he got. 15 Xbox One games and 23 PlayStation 4 games. Okay.
He's just jacking
Chaputis
Yes.
also stole 15 to 20 Asus laptops, some Nintendo Switch and
15
Steam
to
Machine consoles, and, quote, a metal minigun looking thing, end quote.
That's his quote.
Oh my God.
That's how he told the police what he had.
A
I
metal
stole this metal minigun looking
It's
thing.
Gabe Newell's
Minigun
It was his
from-
minigun, from
So
one of the games.
the criminal mastermind that Sean Chaputis is, the pooter.
How did he plan to get rid of his 30 stolen
love this
laptops?
guy.
So, first of all, in interviews with police, he had no fucking clue how much stuff he had. They're like, how much stuff did you see? He's like, I don't know.
I've just been
He could
stealing.
not
I
keep
am-
track of it?
I'm a
Okay.
stealer, not a counter.
Because he was just took so much stuff.
This is a straight up Steely situation.
I know.
From Rick and Morty. In the what do they call it?
Intergalactic cable. Yeah.
cable. There's a character where he has a show where he just walks around and like steals stuff and puts it in his many pocketed vest, and then he goes back and sees what it's all worth. Oh, we've got one of these. It's worth 3 grapples.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what this guy
he
did.
just went and stole stuff. He had
cops
no
are like-
idea.
They're like, so what? How much would you estimate you have? He says,
What
impossible,
do I have?
Impossible to
I
say.
haven't made it to that portion of my
Well,
show yet.
Nope.
Let me tell you more about Sean.
Dude, I love this
So,
guy.
43,000, whatever it was, in stolen merchandise. Dude goes to GameStop. Someone get a calculator for me. He sold 43 games to GameStop for a total of $336.
He made $336 off of this endeavor.
43 games. And that's how he got caught.
All I'm saying is if you're using GameStop as a fence,
Oh my god, worst idea.
yeah, you're going to take a big cut. They're going to take a lot of your stealing.
Does he not know about the internet? He can just sell it online. Does he not know this?
He doesn't know this. Because let me tell you where Sean Chaputis decided to, not just store, but skillfully pack.
This is in the police report.
This is in the
word.
police report.
Skillfully packed.
It was skillfully packed in his geoprism.
Guys.
If you don't know what a geoprism is, Google it, or I can describe it to you. It's a really big roller skate.
It is a beautiful vehicle.
So, along with that, of course, because it's the pooter, he also had drug paraphernalia in his car.
Well, obviously.
Which added
Come
on
on.
to it. And you're like,
Come on.
and you're like,
You think you do this shit sober? Are you kidding me?
He had no idea what was going on
and
for most
you're
of
like,
this.
this is a really weird thing for some guy to just randomly do. Oh, it's not, because he had 6 active warrants at the time. 6.
I am more and more convinced he did not plan one aspect of this robbery.
This whole thing reeks of
He
not
was
being planned.
extremely high, and he just
Here's
was
my
like,
question: What did they say? What drug it was?
No, it
because
just
that
says
changes
drug.
entirely
Well, I didn't read the
what
police
it
report.
is.
what's happening?
Right,
here?
right. If it's meth versus like Adderall versus weed versus
I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's probably a lot of stuff.
Drug. It's a mix. It is
Yeah.
a unhealthy mix of.
No,
these
this guy
things.
is not planning anything. Every decision he makes much more sense if he made it at the moment that it struck him. So he finds an unopened door and he's like, I'm going to go steal stuff and put it in my car, because then he would have been like, oh, I need a bigger car. He thinks, I'm just going to go in there and see what I can steal. He starts walking in there like Steely.
I'm Steely. Follow me on my adventure through this office. All right, here we go. We're going to just steal a couple of things.
Excuse me, can I help you?
Starting with common office objects.
Hey, that's my stuff.
Such as staplers and pins and all sorts of things such as that.
That's it, I'm calling security. What? No!
So he just goes through the office, literally picking up things. Because if you guys have ever seen the inside of a game studio or wandered around one, there's just video games and control like
everywhere.
so a cubicle, instead of being a normal cubicle, will have a couple video games on it, maybe a controller because they're testing the game or something. It's very much a game studio. So yeah, he was just picking stuff up off the.
Yeah.
How many
stealing
laptops did he take?
And then-
15 to 20.
and then
Because
he
he doesn't know.
Yeah, he steals
Somewhere
15 to
around
20
there.
laptops, and then he's like, now I have to get rid of them. So how do I do this? And so
Oh,
he's like,
before
okay.
I go, let me pick up this minigun thing.
Oh, that was
I don't even know what this
steal-
is. I'm
he's
taking
just
it.
stealing everything. He just steals everything. And then he gets outside and he's like, now I have a car full of stuff. I'll just go to GameStop.
This is gonna
Who
be
buys
easy.
game stuff?
I can upload
GameStop.
some of this
I can
real
get rid of
quick.
some of it.
So unfortunate that Valve was robbed, but very lucky that it was by the dumbest person ever, and he
I
did
love
not
this
get his
guy.
hands on a copy of Half-Life 3. It was what all, and
Everyone
that's
wanted.
all everyone was worried about was if he got that, and he didn't.
Well,
So,
people are like, "Oh, cool. He was in Valve. Oh my gosh, what did he steal? He stole an old copy of like what's some stupid fighting game?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah.
He's like, grab a couple of these. I don't know.
these look fun to
Yeah.
sell for drugs.
I'm just picturing him going around desk to desk, just like he's carrying 8 laptops. He's like, this is too
you
many.
guys didn't hear? He used a wheelbarrow.
Loading
Telling you,
laptops
man.
into the
Telling you, man. This was not planned at any point of the plan.
This is just what he decided to do in the moment.
He gets
Yes.
behind it and he's just wheelbarrow through the office, grabs a couple
You know
more
what?
laptops.
You
puts
know
them
what
in.
my theory is?
Yeah.
He found the wheelbarrow first and was like, how do I use this?
Oh, can I fill this up?
fit
I have a
stuff
new
in here.
theory. I have a new theory. It's kind of like Memento, where he has a serious memory disorder, so he keeps like coming to in the middle of these crimes, and he's like, I have to finish doing this crime, but then he doesn't really get to finish doing it because the second that he's like, okay, I have a good plan, I'm getting this out, it's like all of a sudden he comes to again, he's like, I have a wheelbarrow full of laptops. Now what the fuck next?
I guess I'll just take 2 more laptops and just put them in here.
So, yeah, Sean Chaputis, worst decision 2019.
All right, so we have another one. This one comes from Joe Mero, another listener of ours.
Hey guys, this is Jomero, and I have a nomination for you for Worst Decision. It's a little more like Worst Chain of Decisions, but my nomination is Blizzard and everything surrounding the Blitzchung incident. I have more to say on it, but Peterson forcibly ordered me not to. Looking forward to the episode.
If I can't censor our listeners,
The PUBG stuff, I found the storyline, but I couldn't find anything about the writing. Do you have stuff?
that's right. I can talk about it.
We got that one.
I'll just say what I found about it, and then you can talk about the writing.
Yep. Okay, we'll
What were you
cut
saying?
back in. If I can't censor some of our listeners, what can I do?
This is the smallest amount of power that we've ever abused, and you can be damn sure we're going to keep abusing it.
Joe Mero was like, "What can I say?" And I was like, "Nothing. Just say your nomination."
17
but I have
seconds or
some good
less.
ideas. Joe Mero, you get 17 seconds. You give me your nom, and that's it. Or I swear I am cutting you off.
I thought I pulled up the wrong file because it only said 17 seconds. I was like, oh no.
Nope.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I didn't censor him that much.
Okay, so that is for that's Blizzard for worst decision. Blizzard is Activision Blizzard, but I guess we'll just call that one Blizzard.
Well, worst decision I think is their Hong Kong stuff.
Yeah.
Their whole decision around it was just terrible.
the way they handled it, yep.
handled so poorly, and it was kind of mind-boggling because Blizzard, I guess the series of decisions over the last couple of years is mind-boggling because they've been typically better than this. Mm-hmm. And to see them make decisions that even, again, legally they're allowed to do based on the contracts the player signed, but the optics of it all with the political situation, it's just foolish. And
They responded in a way because they responded so rapidly. I mean, they cut off the feed, they banned him, and they stripped his winnings all in less than a day. I think it was a matter of hours. They reacted honestly as if he'd said some slur, like a slur online, or on the channel, or if he had said something extremely offensive.
Yep.
And so that level of reaction, the quickness that they reacted, was a really bad look because it's like clear at that point when you're reacting that quickly and that openly is that you're taking a side.
Yep.
And Blizzard's like, yeah, we're pro-China. Fuck Hong Kong. I hope you all get shot by tear gas.
I hope you lose.
Yeah, I hope you guys lose and you all end up in camps getting your organs cut out. Yeah, so way to go, Blizzard, you monsters. Okay, what time are we at?
Almost an hour. So we got to go through these.
Let's cruise through these a little quicker. Those are our big ones. Worst decision, worst studio. I think is kind of our big ones. Worst launch. I'll just go through this really quickly. It's the same thing.
We
got
already
grilled
it's
all of
Google
these.
Stadia. Yeah. I think there's a lot of it that is in terms of just focusing on Stadia's launch. Because that's basically all we have now. I think we talked about, the overall decision making, but the launch in particular was really bad because, if you guys remember, it launched with 12 games, which isn't that novel or unique for a new console. However, it is when 25% of those games are Tomb Raider games. There's one exclusive, and most of the games are at least 2 years old.
Well, if you're one of the founders for Stadia, so like an early adopter, because there was like the Founders Edition where you paid like $150 to like get in on the ground level. They send you all the kit, they send you the controller, all the best stuff that's supposed to work with. The founders, on launch, in air quotes, upon their launch, the kit wasn't even ready. Nope. People did not get their stuff. The controller has buttons that are Stadia specific because you can use any controller.
Yeah.
But they have Stadia specific buttons. Did not do anything because they're not ready for this. None of the games they were promised 4K, right? None of the games were in 4K. It was buggy, like you said, one exclusive. But for an early adopter, many of these games were games they had already played or beaten.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so how excited are you going to be to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey if you've already put 80 hours into it?
But have you played it and not actually owned it? Because it's a different experience when a giant multinational conglomerate owns the game instead of you.
Now, the one thing I'll say in their defense, for the people it is working for at the basest level, people have really enjoyed it. Like, hey, I can hop into this game, hop out, go upstairs, pull it up on my iPad, and be right back in it. Like, people have had that experience, but the vast majority of the people are returning their launch day stuff because they're just not getting what they're not only that, you have to pay a subscription fee on top of that, so they're going to get charged.
You have to pay a subscription fee for the service
$10
and pay for games individually. It's mind-boggling. If you guys are you guys familiar with the concept of an MVP or a minimum viable product? This is something very common in tech. This is when you are creating a software, typically, generally not with a physical product, but a physical product can also have an MVP. That is the most minimum viable product, which is the product that does the bare minimum of what it needs to do. So an MVP for Facebook maybe would just have your profile and your picture, and you'd be able to like go look at other people's profiles. And so you make it very, very simple. It's the absolute. So you don't put likes in that. You don't put a like in
comments. There's no comments
because that just adds more complexity, and then you can't show people the product working. So you get the product to a state where you can show it working, and then get people to buy it, and get people to get stoked on it, or get investors. So an MVP often is you go to a venture capitalist with an MVP, say, "Here's the product working. We want to add these 20 things, and we could do that if you gave us, $20 million. It'd be really cool." And then people are like, "Hey, well, we like the way your MVP looks and works, so we'll invest." That's how it works. Google, biggest tech company in the world, launched this product as an MVP. They launched it as like a beta.
Yep.
They launched in,
but they didn't call it a beta.
They didn't call it a beta. They didn't call it an alpha like they're doing with Microsoft's online service right now, which is not in open beta. It's in closed beta, and it's really they're testing things.
Testing it.
They're figuring things out. But when you launch with an MVP, it's Google Plus. And you get everyone stoked for it. You get everyone jived for it. And then they show up on day one really excited for all the great things you promised. And they realize there's nothing there, just like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was a great MVP. That's what I would describe it. An alpha of a game is an MVP. That's a great way to put it. And this is how they launched the title. This is how they launched the service. And it was just doomed to fail because you don't get a do-over a lot of times, especially... if you've ever noticed, most alphas of video games, most betas of services you try are free. They want people to go
test
pay them Pay them to test their shitty
Founders
product.
Edition.
You founders, you're literally working for us, and you're paid. It's like a multi-level marketing scheme. It's like Cutco knives. You have to buy your own kit to enjoy it. Get real. So yeah, that's my nomination is Stadia again.
I'll go real quick because I've already said my piece. But if your game gets review bombed like NBA 2K20, there's not much worse than that. So I say just jump online, read some of the reviews that people leave because there's some funny people out there.
And here's the thing, this wasn't an unwarranted review bomb situation. A lot of time it's like gamers being stupid about something. This
was
is
a shitty product.
People who year after year buy NBA 2K games.
Guys, stop. Everyone, you both misread it.
What?
This is NBA Live 2020.
Oh.
Get the fuck out. You guys missed the boat on this. NBA Live 2020 was a game that never came out.
That's why I didn't know.
I know.
Oh,
NBA
yeah.
Live
I
2020.
misread the notes.
This game was
because
announced.
NBA Live isn't a real thing.
I know.
So
it didn't launch
can I say I'm changing my answer?
to NBA Live
This is the
2020.
worst launch ever because
You didn't even know about it.
The launch announcement for NBA Live.
It was accidentally announced during a earnings call, and they're
yeah.
like they announced it by saying
It was canceled.
it was canceled.
The announcement was that it was the launch announcement.
So they
You're
never
right.
announced
I
it,
totally
and then
forgot.
they came out in the statement their earnings call, and they're like, and unfortunately, we had to cancel NBA Live 2020, and everyone's like, wait, what?
You haven't even announced it yet.
so just don't buy basketball games.
Not this year, guys.
Probably not next year either.
Let's play. Wait, do we have a clip? Oh, we don't. Wait, do we have a clip? For
Nope,
this?
this one-
we
this
do.
one was
worst
us.
launch. Yeah, we have a worst launch for this. Trent called in.
Oh yeah, Trent did it.
What's up, 3-Bit Gamer dudes? This is Trent coming in with my nomination for the worst launch, and mine goes to Anthem for so many reasons. Anthem was the first game in years that has forced me to buy an entirely new rig just to play it, and it didn't end up being worth it. The game totally flopped. It was horribly optimized, zero content at endgame, horrible loot system from a team that refused to look at the successes of other games in their genre like Borderlands and Destiny. They changed the name right before launch, which forced them to actually create a story last minute to fit the new name that had nothing to do with the original game concept. Could have been an awesome game, had everything going for it, and it flopped miserably. They're relaunching it next year, I think, so I'm crossing my fingers, but until then, this is my vote for the biggest flop.
I love that they're relaunching it because they're going for
They're
the
gonna
dual
get-
Blurstie
For the same game.
the same game,
Back
same
to back
same
Blursties.
category. That's not easy.
That's not easy.
Not easy. Anthem, sometimes I forget, was actually created this and released this year. It
So-
blows my mind that was this
That's a
year.
long time ago.
Trent made all the right points. I'll just like piggyback on that by saying this was one of the games in 2018 that I was most looking forward to in 2019.
Most people were.
And I loved it for the first hour and a half, and then I realized how bad it was when Trent mentions the loot system. You would get an item and you wouldn't even see what it was. You would just you picked up a rare item. You couldn't see what it was until after the mission was over, and then it would
Mind-boggling.
Dude, you couldn't pick up a gun and be like, I want to use this gun now. Instead, whatever gun you started with the mission, that's what you were locked in with.
Yep.
This game, like Trent said, had everything going for it, and they just blew it.
And I think our final one for worst launch is the first Sonic design.
Oh, man, the Sonic trailer, number one.
Did not come out. It did not come out well at all.
did not go well.
In terms of just like a bad launch where it just takes off and explodes on the runway.
I think people were hesitant to start with about a Sonic live-action movie, but then they saw who was involved, the cast involved, and I think we got a glimmer of hope. And then we saw this trailer and saw what they did to Sonic the Hedgehog. It was just rude. It was just rude.
Weird. It's like they'd never seen Sonic.
It was really ugly. We talked about this with Christian last episode, but it looked off. I guess that was the whole thing. You just looked at it
freaky.
and it looked wrong.
Scary.
Right? And so, I guess our worst launch goes for the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer.
Okay, we've got two categories left. Let's make this one a little bit quicker because we got to do some gamer rage. Worst writing. And who wants to start?
I'll jump in with this one. This is my favorite. I knew immediately this was going to be my nomination when I read this story 6 months ago. Elsewhere is Bethesda's tabletop RPG that they released. People were excited for this. It was pre-Elsewhere. It was like they're kind of packaged along with Elsewhere, their content for ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, which they have an expansion called Elsewhere. So people were kind of excited for this, especially tabletop players. Came out, and people immediately started saying, where have I seen this before?
This seems very
Some of this looks familiar. And I knew this was going to be my Blurstie nom right away because this...
They mucined it.
...is a near word-for-word ripoff of a D&D campaign called The Black Road.
You're not going to get anything past D&D people, too.
I don't even know how this happened. It's not even a clever ripoff. It's not like a ripoff, you know how like every fantasy world is like Tolkien-esque?
Yeah.
It's not that. This is almost word for word. Let me just read a quick sentence. In The Black Road, it says, "There's nothing like the desert to make people feel small and insignificant." This is from the book. Elsewhere, "Nothing beats the desert to make people feel small and unimportant." They just like barely changed the wording.
They took the 2K strategy?
It was a copy paste, and then they were like, "Oh man, all right, we totally forgot we were supposed to work on this. Just copy paste it." Jones, can you just go in and just do a quick
find and replace?
Just change some stuff. One of the other things was this is the best. The name, names in fantasy are like wild, right. So in Black Road, there's a character, a priestess called Chandra Stoll. In Elsewhere, there is a priest named Chandra Stoll. They didn't even change the name,
just the gender.
Just the gender.
In that universe, that's like John Smith.
Everyone's a Chandra Stoll. Everyone. It's wild. So this is the worst writing.
If you remember, we read, one of us read from the plagiarized work, and then someone read from the original work, and we read it at the same time, and it was more or less...
It's the same thing.
Identical.
It's crazy. So worst writing goes to Bethesda's Elsewhere tabletop RPG.
And we've also got this one. I had to shove this in because sometimes you're just so bitter you can't let it go. Game of Thrones Season 8. Here's the problem with Game of Thrones. I was like, I went back and forth whether we should talk about this because it's a video game podcast. But there is sometimes that something is so poorly written and something is so profoundly awful that it transcends the
mediums.
Yes, and here we are. Game of Thrones Season 8. If you guys haven't watched it and you want to watch it, I guess I'd say don't. If you have watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is maybe one of the worst. I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. It's like the worst wrap up to a series ever because there's also series like Dexter and Lost out there. But in terms of just like being super disappointing and such a letdown, and because it was based on based on books that I really loved, it just hurt really hard.
Okay, so PUBG introduced lore.
Oh man,
which is unnecessary. No one expects lore in a battle royale because it doesn't make sense. Why are you dropping 100 people onto an island?
Oh, there's a story behind this.
Nobody cares why. We just want to play it, right? This is some weird sicko like survivalist fantasy. We just want to play it. We don't want to know why. PUBG tried to retcon lore as to why this is happening.
Oh God!
And even since then, they've doubled down on that. Even
they're still doing, because I haven't had an update on this. They're still going
since then. So they've put in. There's 4 maps now. So they have a variety of maps, and they're focusing on the desert map, which takes place in Mexico.
Why not?
And they have started periodically releasing clips, like they're trying to like slowly feed you this story like it's some mystery. because the season started and they had this video of like a cartel leader meeting with someone, and he's like,
God, there's characters now.
oh, there's characters, and it's all around this cartel leader. But here's the thing. I've seen, I don't know, 4 clips about him and a couple still images, because there's like a community event. You go and find these discs in the world while you're playing, and if the community gets so many, then it releases a new video, whatever. But the videos don't make any sense. I have watched several of them so many times, don't know what's happening, don't know why. They don't explain anything. They're just trying to make this like this cartel leader is forcing this to happen. I don't know. It's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it's so poorly done, and frankly, a tad bit racially insensitive in terms of the content. Because think about this: you have this company it is a Chinese or Korean company who's making this game, and they're writing about Mexico.
Oh.
It's pretty tropey.
Yeah, it's all based on like
stereotypes.
Flicks.
Yes, it's not great. It's unnecessary. Nobody cares. I don't think anyone is interested. No one I play the game with cares at all. I'll be like, oh, there's a new video, and I didn't even notice, and they haven't seen the last 2. Nobody cares.
So yours is PUBG, which is a game notable for not having a story and nobody wanting a story.
But hey, why not?
Mine is a game that has a story. Everyone was very interested in seeing the conclusion of the story, and then everyone found out there's too much story. Kingdom Hearts 3 is my nomination, my Blurstie's nomination for worst writing for so many reasons.
For too many reasons, I would say.
Basically what you had here is Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 came out within a year or 2 of each other, and then there was a 15-plus year gap, I think 17-year gap, between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. But they didn't stop making games. I think they crammed like 9 games in there, which is really lovely. And all those games introduced new characters, new ideas, and new theories. So basically, when you finally got to Kingdom Hearts 3, it was such a gigantic spaghetti clusterfuck mess that you could not... So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go Google the plot because I don't remember an ounce of it, and I'm going to try to like refresh myself. No, I didn't get that so far hard in because there's like one character that there's like 5 versions of him, and they're all the same person but all different, and they're all called Ansem. There's Ansem, there's Heartless Ansem, there's Xenohort, and then Xenohort's Heartless. So I start going down this rabbit hole looking at the Kingdom Hearts wiki, and this is what happens. So I look up Ansem. I'm like, okay, who's Ansem? And it says, Ansem was created when Terra Xenohort, masquerading as Ansem the Wise, reawakened his sleeping memories and split his heart from his body, creating a Heartless, also named Ansem.
Did they look the same?
Some of them do look the same. Some of the Ansems look different. So I click, who the fuck is Terra Xenohort? So I click on Terra Xenohort. Terra Xenohort, also referred to as Xenohort and Ansem.
What?
Yes. So there is Ansem the Wise, Terra Xenohort, but Terra Xenohort is also Ansem.
Duh.
He is the result.
How are you not following this?
He's the result of Master Xenohort's heart forced into Terra's body. Terra is someone totally different from the Xenohorts. And the human form of Ansem and Xemnas. Who the hell is Xemnas? Xemnas, the superior of the in-between, sometimes referred to as superior or Lord Xemnas by members of Organization 13, is the nobody of Terra Xenohort, who is also Ansem. What?
Wait,
so Xemnas they introduce as the new big bad,
I just want to play
but
Disney
Xemnas
characters.
is the result. I know, dude. It is so crazy. Here's the deal. If you lose your heart in this game, a concept that's introduced, I believe, in the first game, losing your heart creates a creature called a Heartless. That's why the world's filled with Heartless, is all these poor souls out there have lost their heart, filling the world with Heartless. But it also, if you're strong enough, you have a strong enough heart and you lose it, you produce a nobody. It creates a nobody. You don't become that nobody. You just kind of stop existing. Oh. Yes. You exist in some like ether world. But if you find your heart again, your nobody and you're heartless, they don't go anywhere. Sometimes they come back into your body, and sometimes they just choose to live in their own world. And I'm pretty sure then they can have their own heartless and nobodies, and just repeating that ad nauseum.
I don't understand where the worst writing is coming from.
It sounds amazing, doesn't it? I don't know what the hell is going on in like. I just
sounds.
Is there one person?
Logical.
Is there one person in this world that's out there, and they're just sitting there, and they're like, I understand all of this.
What are you talking about? How do you not understand this?
Yeah.
This
Are
is
you guys
so easy.
stupid?
It's like, what's that character?
Idiot.
What's that character in Overwatch with all the balls, and he just sits there like meditating with all his balls. And
Yeah, the robot guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I envision. Anybody that can actually understand the Kingdom Hearts story is like some super genius living on top of a mountain in Tibet, and they're like, "Come, child, I will explain it to you."
Explain this to you, and you're like, I don't think I want it explained to me.
Can you answer something else?
There's lots of examples of better fantasy stories. I just want to play with Goofy. I don't care about the Heartless.
Oh, Goofy and the characters from Disney make very minimal appearances in this game because there's no time because you have to explain Zemnos. Who's
the
Terra
point?
Xenomorph's nobody.
If we throw in Goofy, it gets too confusing.
Does Goofy have a Heartless?
Goofy
No, none of the
has
Disney
many
characters
layers.
have ever produced Heartless.
Why?
I don't know.
This is two stories that they've just kind of like.
No, it's like 50 stories.
Well, I mean, like two different things.
And yet,
that
at the
they've
same
mashed
time,
together.
it's no stories.
It's the
This
stories.
goes nowhere.
It's the stories nobody. I guess. I don't know. Let's move on. Okay, so finally, our last category, our favorite category. Worst gamer rage. Now, gamer rage is something that we're always on the beat. This is our number one favorite thing to follow, is when gamers just get a little too mad.
You could say this is a maybe 33% gamer rage podcast.
It really is, because nothing amuses me more. We all love this hobby. We're all very passionate about it. But I think people get a little too passionate, and I'm like, all right, that's crossed the line from fan to fucking hilarious.
Just crazy person. Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm picking the incident this summer where a 15-year-old, I hope I'm saying her username right. It's either Bochi or Bachi. I'm going to say Bochi. 15-year-old girl, she enters a local Super Smash Brothers tournament.
Oh, so she's asking for it at this point.
Yeah.
Wait,
So-
a 15-year-old girl?
She was asking for it by being a girl to most of them.
That's true. That's true.
And so she's playing this highly ranked player. His name is Ally. And she matches up with him, right? She's just this. She's not really well known. She does play Super Smash Brothers. Some people, like, she had a slow rise through the ranks, but nobody was paying attention because she was a girl.
Right.
So she's playing Ally. Ally is Snake. And Bochi decides to play as Isabel, who is known by all as like a low tier player, like character. That is a bad character. And it turns out to be a very good match. You can watch it online. It's really good. But they end up having to go to round 3 because they tie 1-1.
Tight.
And at the end, she upsets him, right? She gets a smash attack, wins it, game over.
Coolest.
Awesome. She
Way to
gains.
go. That sounds awesome.
I know. It sounds like
Shouldn't this be
a
the
cool
story
this
of the
should
year?
Be the cool story that we're
Oh,
all
wait.
celebrating.
It's
And
like- I
so
forgot
you're telling the
that
fans
we're
were very supportive, and they were like, "Yay!"
I forgot we were talking about video games. So she received a disproportionate amount of hate from people for winning.
Yeah.
She's good at games, but she's a girl, a 15-year-old girl. So she received so much hate, and she received so much that she said she started tweeting things like, I honestly wish I never even played Super Smash Brothers ever.
And then didn't she say she was like, I'm deleting my account?
She did. She said she's going to delete her account. She got off Twitter, everything, because of all of the hate that she's getting.
That's so wild. In an underdog situation in sports, we love this stuff. We eat it up. We've got everyone's like so happy because it's awesome to see an upset, right? In video games, how dare you?
Right. And
I'm going to bully you. I'm going to cyber bully you.
Would you play me? I'd play me so hard.
right, so she's bullied so much that she's like, I'm quitting. I'm not going to play anymore. I'm not going to be on Twitter anymore. A lot of professional gamers came out and supported her.
Oh, yeah,
because
of course.
they're sane.
Because they're not
all
like
the
scumbags.
Scummy.
Even the
community.
guy she beat was like,
yeah, he didn't care.
guys,
he
leave
was
her alone.
really
This
happy
was a
for her.
good match.
So, just to give you an example of something,
no.
let me pull this up real quick. Sorry.
I think the Smash community is right up there with like the Riot community.
They're real bad
in terms of like their players and their fan base. I mean, it's odd for a Nintendo game, essentially,
Yes.
a very Nintendo-y childlike game, to have the toxicity that it has. With League of Legends, I kind of get it, because their whole thing is like chicks with huge boobs and no clothes running around looking sexy. It makes sense, the people that game attracts. But with Smash, I'm like, where do these scumbags come from?
They're like cartoony looking.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right,
so this is a tweet from another person in the community, and their Twitter handle, in case you're wondering, is @GoblinFL. Okay,
sure.
So this person brings up another player, Poupe, which is I think another player's name, a 16-year-old who beat another pro in a Super Smash Brothers tournament and only gained like 1 or 2 followers, and then Bochi beats Ally and gains 8,000 followers, and Goblin is mad, and I can't think of a better name. Here was his quote, and I know it's a him.
Christ.
Goblin then goes on to refer to Bochi's quick rise to fame, which is untrue, as partly a product of, quote, pity handicaps of being a girl. As if being a girl suddenly grants you a secret ticket to insta fame. So he thinks because she was a girl,
obviously,
not because she won, but because she was a girl, that's why she rose to fame.
Only explanation.
Can I just say it doesn't matter in Smash? In League, it does matter if you're famous and you have fans, because sometimes there are players that aren't as good, that because they have such a big fan base, that teams will recruit them and they'll have them on their team just because of their name. That is not the case in Smash. It is a single-player game. You're by yourself. There's no advantage to being famous.
This story has a weird ending.
Oh, God.
So the guy that she beat, that everyone was really like, Ally, right?
Yeah.
His name's Ally.
Yeah.
And everybody's going nuts because they're like, oh, he's awesome. He should have won, blah, blah, blah. Dude turned himself in for being a pedophile.
Oh, my gosh.
He admitted that when he was 26, he was involved with a 16-year-old. And that's where he is now.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
So he retired on account of that.
He's one of the biggest assholes in the world, too.
So he doesn't even play Smash anymore.
Oh, my gosh.
So
gamers
Bochi,
sometimes.
Props.
This
Super
is
Smash
a
Brothers
mess.
community.
This
fuck
fucking
off.
story.
This story is... I hate it. But if this is nominated for Gamer Rage because people cyber bullied Bochi,
a 15-year-old,
a 15-year-old girl, for beating a pro at a video game she loves one time, and they cyberbullied her into she was deleting her account and quitting, and
then they bullied her for that too, which is fucking amazing. Gosh. So she deleted her account and tried to get away, and
relentless.
She was bullied for being immature, and this is what you should expect if you want to be part of this community.
I hate
I'm like,
gamers sometimes,
dude. I want to hold you down and have Scott Gelb just fucking fart on your face. I want to treat Scott Gelb as a weapon.
And weaponized Gelb,
weaponized Gelbing. That's what I'm coming for you. I'm gonna hold your head against his ass.
Gelb, come here. I got someone for you, buddy. He's like, wait, am I allowed to this time?
No, you're actually encouraged to.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to.
I can't do it. I can't perform when I'm supposed to be doing this stuff.
Can we just pretend like this is some innocent employee?
It only feels good as if they're...
Hey, Gelb, this is one of your QA testers. Get over here.
Had a burrito.
And so if you, especially this Goblin dude who is also a professional Smash player, if you go look at his tweets on this situation and then look in the comments, you need to take a shower after. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's worst gamer rage for the Smash community.
Peterson, why don't you give us yours?
Okay, mine's pretty quick and easy. Epic Game Store launches. Of course, people are up in arms. But the best part is when Epic Games starts purchasing exclusive rights to games that people want and that people were expecting to get on Steam and are now furious that they can't get it on Steam.
Right.
And they start boycotting these games. One First of all, gamer boycotts are not
cute.
a real thing.
No, they're very cute.
Because they're all like, everyone, we can't buy this game. We need to boycott. Don't let this company. And then the game sells 400 million copies on day one.
This is the psychology that goes into it. You are gamer A, and you really want this game. You are mildly miffed by some aspect about that game, but you know you're still going to buy it no matter what. So what is the next best thing you can do is convince someone else not
me,
to buy it.
Other people.
Yeah, then you've done your duty, and you can comfortably go buy the game, play it, and just pretend like none of this
and just
happened.
You can be a little bitter while you're playing it.
Which is why the people that are like encouraging boycotts are always the loudest motherfuckers ever. Because they're like, they know.
They don't want anyone to see.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the guys who have blocked their Steam viewable. Their show is offline on Steam all the time.
Yeah, it's like those politicians that are out there raging about they're about same-sex marriage, and then they're trying to solicit someone in a bathroom, and you're like,
come on, man. Come on.
Now I see. Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, they just want to bang the dude, not marry him. Obviously, you're an idiot, JD.
Come on, Jonathan.
So,
Congressman for promiscuity. That's all we ever wanted. No strings tied sex.
No strings. It's really about the strings.
Yeah.
No. So, but here's the thing: when gamers try to boycott games, they're not punishing the store as much as they're punishing the developer, who has obviously made some sort of good deal. Right, with the company, because they're
Guaranteed
not doing
cash.
this for free. They are games cost a lot of money to make. They're still selling them at $60 a pop. So all they're doing by this quote unquote boycott is hurting the developer of their favorite game, and not just the developer, but they are hurting the employees who have crunched, because a lot of times, as we mentioned before, their bonuses
Directly
are
tied to sales.
directly tied to how well the game does, and
Metacritic scores sometimes.
And yes,
so when
and
you
so
go
not
bomb
only
review
that,
bomb games.
they were review bombing games before they were released, which is what spurned Steam to make their review bomb system,
right?
Because before that, they did not care.
Right.
They had a monopoly, so they didn't care, and so now they've had a review bomb system because of this Epic Store situation. So gamers just being mad that they have to buy it in a different launcher, and I get it, there's the friends list and all that stuff, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal.
So I think Origin is garbage. It's EA's launcher, and I got Fallen Order through Origin because it was $15 for the Origin Premium or whatever, so I'm just going to cancel it after a month. But honestly, I couldn't get the game to boot. Like, I had to restart my machine twice. I had to completely close the Origin process because it was just running in the background. I had to close the Origin process down and do a bunch of stuff and then boot it. But ultimately, what I'm doing here is double clicking the icon on my desktop. And now that it boots fine and I've solved whatever problem it is, it's literally just being mad because I don't know, you're double clicking the button on the desktop. That's all that happens. It doesn't change. You don't have to open Origin. It's on your desktop, guys.
And look, if you're relying on your Steam friend list to find someone to play games with, just open a Discord channel.
Yes.
Just have a Discord channel.
It's not that hard.
Have those people jump in it. Guys,
they're real
come
people
on.
generally. Okay, so this is it. Guys, this is the stuff we leave peak for the absolute end of the end of the year. This is how we wrap up 2019.
This is the only reason I made it through 2019.
Favorite story of 2019. That is all of the Gamer Rage reactions to every shitty thing that Belle Delphine did this year. I guess shitty's not a good word. Every hilarious troll she pulls this year.
Good.
She is just everything. I think... So Belle Delphine is a streamer / cosplayer who does a lot of slutty cosplay and posts a lot of very sexual pictures. However, none of them include nudity. So she's basically a gigantic carrot. She's a nerd carrot on the stick for all these nerds to chase constantly.
Right.
And then right as they reach that peak when they've decided they're going to masturbate, and then they're like... It doesn't get any nakeder than this. That is exactly when they start raging. That point in their brain, in their like physical, biological process that makes them most angry is right when they're about there and they realize, wait, this is as naked as she goes? So that's no! And so that's her thing. And so in June, Belle Delphine made headlines for the first time this year by promising that if a photo that she had posted on Instagram, got 1 million likes, I believe, that she would open a Pornhub account.
Yes.
At no point did she say, I will start doing porn, or
just have an account.
I will just open a Pornhub account. But everyone just filled in the blanks because they
yeah.
are currently, remember, all of Belle Delphine's fans are currently masturbating.
Right now.
She does not have fans that are not currently masturbating. And she knows this. That's the best part. Is she's hyper aware of this. And so she's like, this is great. What can I do with a bunch of extremely horny people with their pants around their ankles? Well, I'll tell them I'm making a Pornhub
they don't take
account.
their pants off.
Well, let me tell you how these chronic masturbators responded when she revealed that the Pornhub account was totally fake, and all of the
This is troll videos.
Troll videos, like Belle Delphine takes a big cream pie and she's literally eating just like a pie tin full of whipped cream. And here I'm just going to read the quotes of
this
the
is the
year.
best.
Yes.
Quotes of the decade.
She has. These are people responding to the once they found out.
Because she trolled. She posted a bunch of videos.
Who she personally wronged.
Yes, exactly.
By the way.
So good.
You're wronging me right now. She has broken people's hearts and destroyed their dignity. The only apology we will accept is real videos and not these fake fucking lies.
So they said...
The only way that I will forgive you, because I know you want my forgiveness, you broke my heart.
Which is a currency.
You need to make me a porn.
I took the day off work.
Make me a porn now.
That's a weird level of entitlement that we've reached with dudes in 2019 on the internet. Make me a porn.
I look at your
video.
pictures all the time. It's the least you could do.
Listen, Belle.
That's like the extent of our fans.
I went out on a limb and I liked that picture. All of my followers saw that I liked that.
My parents saw?
They saw that I liked that.
I've done for you.
You owe me nips.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. Okay, so here's another one. We need to unfollow her and unlike everything she did. Retake the clout we gave her and force her into actually doing porn, because that's what people have been into ever since she started. Put her in a clout.
Force her into doing porn?
This is
that rape? I think that's just rape.
This is a sex trafficker.
That's what Jackson
mindset.
said. No, it's literally rape, but that's what they want. This is all one sentence. As he puts this, I can't imagine being a human fucking being that types this out and then hits enter. He says, put her in a clout drought and feed it to her like a reward, like a little pet when she's actually giving us what we wanted. And this sentence totally backs up my justification that all of her fans are actively masturbating at all times. Because imagine saying that. You have to say it like this.
Put her in a clout drought and feed it to her like a reward, like a little pet when she's actually giving us what we wanted. Good pet.
This is
porn
crazy.
These guys are lunatics, and they've outed themselves.
By the way, this is exactly what she wanted.
What are those guys'
She knew this was
usernames?
going to happen.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived. This guy's just ripping on thesaurus.com. He's like, you know how hard it is to masturbate on thesaurus.com? You know what you're doing to me?
I mean, I can do it, but it's hard.
I can do it, but it's really hard.
I've done it before.
I'm still doing it.
Belle Delphine's gamer card has officially been taken away.
Oh,
She will
okay,
no
gamers.
longer be accepted into our culture any longer. I'm sorry, what is your culture? Because it's fucking gross.
Your culture is the worst
Your
culture of all the
wants to
cultures.
force me.
Guys, she knew what she was doing.
It's just a culture list of all subcultures, and right at the bottom is Belle Delphine's fan base culture.
These fucking
That's the
swamp
culture.
people.
Dude.
Here's a good one. This is Belle Delphine, you will rue this day. The day you crushed all the 12 and 13-year-old boys who waited a week for your videos. You posted horrible content, and you will pay.
They waited a week?
All the gamers are coming together to find you, Belle. You've got a bounty.
They're doing what now?
Wanted dead or alive. Be warned, don't mess with the gamers. You may have just started World War III.
Warned.
This person is so mad.
This person's so mad that they can't masturbate to something very specific.
What caused World War III? Was this guy couldn't jerk off? He's like, launch the nukes, Trump. Do it. Do it. I I can't do it. She hasn't posted.
Gamers
a nude
cannot
enough
be
nude.
oppressed anymore.
Trump, can
Rise
we nuke
up.
LA? Is that an option?
No, she's in the UK, so you have to.
Oh, she is.
The nuke.
We're starting
the real Brexit, bitch. Show us your tits or you're nuked. World War III's coming, Bill.
Do you think we can convince Boris Johnson to extradite her?
Oh my God.
Also, I think it's funny that Pornhub was in on this. Pornhub was like responding to her tweets like, nice.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Cool. And
Sweet.
Nice.
yeah, but they were like obviously joking. I don't know. The whole thing's incredible. Pornhub's probably stoked because these videos of her have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views.
So good.
Pornhub's like, cool, we do non-porn stuff.
They
Whatever.
don't
That's
care.
tight. That's tight. That's the
So-
tightest thing ever.
A few months later, Belle Delphine hits the cycle again for one of our second favorite stories, and we just have to go
me
through this quickly.
Very
thirsty.
quickly. She sells her bathwater, which,
She's
by
the
the way,
one.
I just Googled it in advance of this. It is back up. The store is back up. It is not $30 a jar. It is $250 a jar.
Wow.
Dude, yeah, you could resell your $30 stuff at a premium now. She's creating a secondary market. She was selling her bathwater. And why I put this in the gamer rage category was because, not that people were necessarily upset, because I think at this point, anyone that was upset has probably, I don't know,
Got their bathwater.
masturbated themselves to death. Because anyone that was mad about the Pornhub thing is clearly has like a chronic masturbation
They have
problem.
a real problem.
And
go see a therapist, please.
it's bleeding. So these guys are out, but everyone's like wise to her game, but apparently not, because the bathwater thing gets big with another group of gaming culture, which is the smug know-it-alls that are like, oh, other gamers buying bathwater. What has this come to? I was like, see, you guys acting smug here, you look extra stupid because this is clearly a troll. And when you're like
Like an obvious one.
yeah, they're like, yeah. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, people got herpes from her bathwater. Did you hear? Did you know? Oh, so disgusting. Me, I look at my pornography with fully naked women, so clearly I'm much better than you. It's like, get real, dude. You're all in on it. You're all being mocked.
This is the best.
You're all gross.
She might be one of my personal heroes,
No,
which is
she's
weird to say, but
definitely my personal hero.
troll hero.
Yeah, she's just the best.
She's got it going on.
She's my favorite 19-year-old troll, I guess. That's the best part. Is like, I don't feel like I was emotionally mature to deal with the full brunt of ragey internet stuff. I'm not ready for it now, and I'm
still get
31.
heated and I sweat.
Yeah, get a little sweat, like I little have a pit in my stomach. She lives it. She goes out there and finds
She's
it and
doing
seeks
it on
out
purpose.
and just skates. I mean, she posts pictures of herself like it all naked. She's like in the most vulnerable position, and she is just fearless and just like fuck you all and a relentless troll. I just think
So
she's the
funny.
best. I think that shit is so funny to me. Okay, so our
last
final nominee, Peterson. When
Our final nomination is a three-peat nomination for Worst Gamer Rage is for the 3-Bit Gamer Show.
You guys are so mad all the time.
We rage a little bit.
we've been known to rage occasionally.
You're so angry you had to force yourself to insert positivity into your podcast.
That's a good point.
That is a good
That's
point.
a pretty fair
Did
point.
not think about that. That's true.
Force it.
Listen, we just love it. It makes for engaging, entertaining content, and I mean, who doesn't like to rage every now and then?
We like to give our listeners an opportunity to
Can't rage at work, can't rage at home.
Mm-hmm.
You guys get it.
Look, dude, we are unlike all the other nominees for all of our Blursties. We are at least self-aware. We are very aware of our faults and our flaws, as myriad as they are.
We embrace them,
and we have embraced them, and we're giving we like to give our listeners an opportunity. If you guys think, you guys are
Real quick for you two. Think back this past year. What are the one thing you raged about the most?
Stadia. No.
Riot.
Riot?
It was Riot.
I think so.
It was
Riot
God,
Games.
when they sent Scott Gelb to Harvard for an $80,000 bonus course on his 2-month sabbatical, I mean,
it's Riot. It's definitely
like Stadia
Riot.
doesn't make me mad. It just makes me roll my eyes because it's everything that's wrong with Silicon Valley.
Or is it the gaming? Is it the institution of game developers? Because
That made me mad.
We've talked about that. They look. It doesn't matter your stance on unions. I think the game developers have earned themselves a union.
It's so crazy hearing Peterson say this.
It's-
Like, you guys have to know Peterson to know how insane
I
it is
work
to
in
hear him
HR.
say this.
HR
for Boeing,
antithesis.
a gigantic firm, which I'm sure unions play a massive role
Yep.
and a big pain in your ass.
Yep.
Occasionally, and
I'm not allowed to say that, but yeah.
The fact that
He didn't say that.
that you're saying this means that there must be some real shady.
Like they've earned themselves a union, and I think that's the biggest rage is that for me, they don't see what they're doing to themselves by being the worst.
Or the blurst.
The blurst.
That it might be.
No,
Yeah,
they
way to go.
Okay, well, that does it. That's the Blursties.
Wraps up the Blursties
We did
for
it.
us.
Guys, we did it. Thank you for being with us. You guys are not the Blurst at all. You guys are the best for sticking with us. 3 years now? Is this our
3
third
years.
annual
Third
Blursties? It's crazy. We actually looked this up, and I looked this up. Over 100,000 total listens now.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
Crazy.
That's a lot of
We're in the
numbers.
6-digi club. Yeah, we're almost up to 1 million.
Halfway there.
Halfway there, I think.
Halfway. Yeah, that's how numbers
Logarithmically,
work.
we're halfway there.
We can make it work.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. The Blursties. Keep an eye out. If you guys want to go vote, I will have it up now. If you go to 3bitgamershow.com/Blursties, we'll have our survey because, as you guys know, this is a People's Choice
This is a People's
Award.
Choice situation.
So we make these nominations, but we rely on your votes. We will be posting them on Discord, Facebook, and Twitter for about a week or two, so don't worry about missing it. But if you really want to get in there early, it's 3bitgamershow.com/Blursties. We need your votes, and we'll be announcing the results early next year so you guys can know who truly was the Blurst of 2019. All right, that does it. And to play us out, we have the theme from the best music written, apparently. This is Kingdom Hearts 3. The music's great. It's great. They should have had the composer
peaceful.
write the fucking plot.
It should just be a CD.
All right, I'm JD, logging off.
This is Peterson going AFK.
This is Jackson going to rage at 15-year-olds who are better at things than me.
Peterson Productions. Oh, yeah.
Well, folks, 2019 is officially over, and as much fun as we had talking about the worst of the worst for the year, it really has been a great year, and I attribute that a lot to our listeners and our community. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are
just what do you guys think you're doing?
Oh, hey, Scott. I mean, Mr. Gelb.
We don't allow any of that mushy stuff here in my office.
What are you
I've
doing?
got
Oh, no.
something mushy here for you.
Not again. Not again. Not again.